Greetings, everyone. My name is Jamal C. Boyd Sr. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for the Crossroads Center. And the purpose of the message today is to, one, share with you both from a professional and a personal capacity some thoughts and feelings relative to the recent occurrences in the community and the world at large in response to the recent deaths in the African American community, one of which was predominantly publicized around the death of George Floyd, and the community's response in protest and looting and riotous behavior, but also to educate the watchers of this message from a male African American perspective that will hopefully bring awareness and alignment with what needs to happen next. As the CEO of the Crossroads Center, our agency is focused on providing care to all patients and clients and consumers that come through our door. But our specific niche focus is on the African American, underrepresented, marginalized, and those who are underserved in our community. Meaning which, those who are disproportionately impacted in a significant way outside of those whom we serve in a majority population. We want to make sure that we create equitable outcomes and fairness in treatment and service to those in that latter portion of whom I identify. In addition, as an African American CEO in the Cincinnati area, I am a part of a small group of leaders who happen to be minorities. This recent issue has hit me both personally and professionally, and I ask that you indulge this message for its length so that at the end of this, we, you and I, and those who watch this can come together to determine what is measurable, what is sustainable, and what do we need to partner on with to ensure that the things that have occurred that have impacted our community happen in such a way that those occurrences never happen again. In addition, I align with my CEO counterparts from other organizations, from other industries all around the world who have responded in a CEO message to the community relative to their organization's stance on the outcomes. Let me tell you what the Crossroads Center stance is. We will always support every community that is in hurt or need of services and or dealing with an issue. Let me be clear that when an organization says that they're focusing on a particular minority group, it is not being dismissive of any other group. It's saying that there's a need that needs to specifically be met within this target group that we are focusing on as an organization. Similarly, in my personal and in my life in general, I support Black Lives Matter. I support my Black Life Matters. That is not me saying as an African American male or an African American father, husband, brother, cousin, or individual that I am. That is not me dismissing that all lives matter. But when individuals respond to me or to our organization when we say Black Lives Matter with all lives matter, that is a dismissal of our position. And we ask that companies, organizations, individuals do not do that. Please do not dismiss our position of focusing on the issue at hand, the group at hand, the individual at hand, because we're trying to educate and also create an awareness about a specific issue that is impacting that particular person or group. And we want to make sure that we all come together with that. It's not that, again, we do not provide care for all people and all clients and all patients, but when African Americans are marginalized or other groups are marginalized and are not represented or do not receive the services and care that they deserve, that are equitable to majority populations, give us all an opportunity to come together to identify the best way to resource that and to get the best outcomes. Similarly, with the outrage that is in the African American community, we are frustrated. We are angry. And what I've asked my agency to do, what I've asked my peers to do, what I've asked my community to do, is to channel that anger, channel that frustration in protest, in positive protest, in things that lead to, again, sustainable and measurable outcomes in partnership with those who are not from the African American community, so that there's unity that developed in that and not division. And again, those who watch this video, that is our agency stance. That is our, in my individual stance, and that is my personal and professional stance. I implore you to understand why the African American community is upset, and have transparent and open conversations with us about how we feel, because our feelings are valid, but not just how we feel, but what the facts are behind why we feel the way that we feel. In addition, work with us in order to develop strategies and plans that are measurable and that are resourced to drive the outcomes, so that what we've presented in terms of our position can be addressed and be resolved. We are at a critical point in our community where the frustration is because there's been no resolution. There's not been a strategic plan developed to address the African American community's needs on an individual case-by-case basis, whether we're talking about policing, police brutality, health disparities, inequities, and other things. We need to come together to align around how all communities in its diversity can develop what's needed to heal the hurt in the community. Let me also say something about symbolism. It is great and excellence that we focus on taking a knee. And I want to support the symbolism in taking a knee. But what I would ask every individual who does this, every organization that does this, is to understand the why behind taking a knee. When Colin Kaepernick took a knee, it was deemed as disrespectful to the flag of the United States of America, which was not ever the focus of him taking a knee. And he's going through criticism, as well as those who support him have been criticized for taking a knee. Now that the death of an African American male was precipitated by the knee of a white police officer, now the symbolism is for us to take a knee. And we have to be careful about the symbolism and the symbolic nature in which we take a knee, because everyone's intent and understanding for taking a knee may not be the same. There's been images posted on the website, or on the internet, around individuals taking a George Floyd challenge who are Caucasian or white males, putting their knee on the necks of other white males in jest and joking about the death of George Floyd. Not saying that those who have symbolically taken a knee have done it with that intent, but again, in measuring what we do, we need to make sure that we understand the why behind doing something that is deemed as symbolic. In addition, for me, for our agency, we will always support the things that are important to the community with understanding the why, but also demonstrating what we will do as an organization or individuals when we get up from taking a knee. And that's very important, because yes, the symbolism is great, but we're not checking boxes. And I'm challenging other organizations, leaders, and agencies and individuals to not check a box by saying, I did this symbolic activity. What I'm challenging you to do is to create a strategy around what it is that you're going to do when you get up from taking that knee to create sustainable and measurable change in the African American community specifically, versus what is happening more globally. And again, the focus is on the African American community. Let's not be dismissive of what needs to happen to create healing and unity in every community, but particularly as it relates to the African American community. I thank you for indulging this video. I thank you for indulging this time, and welcome a healthy, transparent, but positive conversation with anyone who wishes to have it as to how we drive solutions that impact the African American community positively and create global and sustainable and measurable change. Thank you very much, and God bless you.